This village had a creepy tradition. Whenever someone passed away, the villagers would lay them on a mat and let it drift down the river. They said if the body made it under the stone bridge at the village entrance, that soul would be reborn as someone rich. But weirdly, not a single person had succeeded for hundreds of years. Every single one hit the bridge pillars and sank into that dark water below. One day Neko, who grew up in the city, got word that her grandmother was seriously ill, so she drove out to the countryside alone to visit. As she passed the stone bridge, Neko saw an elderly figure completely pale white. At first she thought it was one of her grandmother's friends, and waved hello all friendly. But when the old figure looked up, that was no friend at all. That was clearly a ghost. Neko panicked and pounded on her grandmother's door. She rushed inside as soon as the door opened and locked it behind her. Seeing how terrified her granddaughter looked, Grandma explained that was her uncle, who had died when she was very young. And ever since Neko's grandfather passed, those deceased villagers had started showing up. Every night they stood on the bridge, waiting for the day Grandma would join them. Through the window Neko saw the bridge crowded with ghosts, all calling out her grandmother's name. Neko was absolutely losing it, but Grandma remained calm. She told her granddaughter a story from her youth. Back then she was only 15 and had a tight group of friends. Among them was a boy named Masayoshi. He stood 8 feet tall, the biggest man in the village, and he was also Grandma's fiancé. But the day before their wedding, a falling tree in the mountains crushed Masayoshi. At his funeral the villagers needed 2 mats laid out just to fit him. As Masayoshi floated away from the shore, young Grandma cried her heart out, and just like every other funeral before, right before the bridge arch Masayoshi hit the pillar and fell into the river. But because he was so huge he got stuck right under the bridge. Grandma looked down and saw Masayoshi staring right back at her with wide open eyes. With the help of the villagers they finally got Masayoshi through, and he sank into that dark water. Even though years had passed, Grandma was still sure Masayoshi really did open his eyes and look at her, and that look was like telling her you come too soon. After hearing all this, Neko looked back at the bridge and spotted a towering figure under it. When that figure turned around, it was Masayoshi, her grandmother's young fiancé. Grandma knew her time was close. She begged Neko to bury her in the ground after she passed. She did not want to sink into that freezing river and face the endless dark. Then Grandma lay down to sleep and never breathed again. Neko called out to her in panic, but then she suddenly jolted awake. Turns out it was all just a dream. She went to her grandmother's house, only to find everything was exactly like the dream. Even the same old figure standing on the bridge. Neko was terrified, but she forced herself forward. This time she did not say anything, but the figure spoke up first. Neko rushed inside to check, but her grandmother was nowhere to be found. She stepped out into the yard and saw the dream repeating itself. The bridge was packed with dead villagers, all chanting her grandmother's name. Neko watched as her grandmother floated down the river. Just like always, she hit the pillar and sank under. Neko sprinted to the bank trying to grab her grandmother, but the river was too strong. Grandma still sank into that frozen water she dreaded the most, and the villagers finally got what they wanted. When Neko turned back, the bridge was completely empty. Now there was only one tall shadow with a smaller one beside it.